Let's look at De Moivre's theorem. Whatever be the value of n, integral or fractional or positive or negative, a value or one of the values of cos theta plus I sin theta to the power of n is going to be cos n theta plus I sin n theta. Okay. So here this n may be integral, that means integers, or it may be fractional. It may be positive or negative. Irrespective of that case, one of the values would be this. So let's see whether we can prove it or not. Okay, so let's take the first case, and the first case is let n belong to positive integer. Cos alpha plus I sin alpha times cos beta plus I sin beta. Let's do this multiplication. What do we get? Let's do the multiplication. Cos alpha cos beta plus cos alpha, let's put I in the beginning, sin beta plus I cos beta sin alpha plus I square sin alpha sin beta, right? So now what happens here? This, if I remove this I square, this will become minus, right? So I have cos alpha cos beta sin alpha sin beta, right? So cos alpha cos beta minus sin alpha sin beta plus I, let's take it common out, and we are left with cos alpha sin beta plus cos beta sin alpha. Okay, now this part will become cos alpha plus beta, and the imaginary part will become sin alpha plus beta. This is based on the identities. So cos alpha plus beta is equal to cos alpha cos beta minus sin alpha sin beta. Similarly, sin alpha plus beta is cos alpha sin beta plus cos beta sin alpha. Okay, so we got this. Now let's do this again. So let's add one more factor, cos alpha plus I sin alpha times cos beta plus I sin beta, and now the third factor, cos gamma plus I sin gamma. Now we already know the first two factors. When we multiply, what we get? Yes, we get cos alpha plus beta plus I sin alpha plus beta, this one. Okay, and to this we are multiplying cos gamma plus I sin gamma. Okay, let's do this multiplication. Cos alpha plus beta times cos gamma plus I cos alpha plus beta sin gamma plus, now these two, I sin alpha plus beta cos gamma plus I square sin alpha plus beta and sin gamma. Now let's take this and If we take out this I square, this becomes minus. So let's take this first term and the last term. What do we get? We get cos alpha plus beta plus gamma plus I is common, and if we take these two, what do we get? We get sine alpha plus beta plus gamma. Now if we add one more factor, what will happen? We will end up with cos alpha plus beta plus gamma plus delta. Similarly here, alpha plus beta plus gamma plus delta. So in general, what will we have? If we say we have cos alpha plus I sine alpha, cos beta plus I sine beta, cos gamma plus I sine gamma, and so on, n times is equal to, what will it become? It will become cos alpha plus beta plus gamma plus dot 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 n times or n terms, more appropriately n terms, yes, plus I sine, and again alpha plus beta plus gamma plus n terms. We have understood this part. Now let's say alpha, beta, gamma and delta are all the same. So if alpha is equal to beta plus, not plus, equal to gamma is equal to, and so on, is equal to, let's say, theta. Okay, in that case, what will it mean? It will mean cos theta plus I sine theta. We are replacing alpha, beta, gamma with theta. Similarly again, cos theta plus I sine theta, cos theta plus I sine theta, and so on up to n terms, or here it would be more appropriate to say times. And this would be equal to what? Again, we replace all these alpha, beta, gamma with theta. So this will become cos theta plus theta plus theta plus and so on up to n terms, plus I sine theta plus theta plus theta plus up to n terms. So which means we can write this now as what? Cos theta plus I sine theta to the power of, since it is n times, to the power of n is equal to cos. Now this theta, theta, theta n times. So cos n theta plus I sine n times theta. So we have proved that cos theta plus I sine theta to the power of n is equal to cos n theta plus I sine n theta when n is a positive integer. Now case 2. Now here in this case, let n be a negative integer, or n belongs to minus z minus. Okay, so therefore let n be equal to minus m, and m belongs to z plus, because if m is a negative number, then what will happen? Minus of minus, it will become plus. So we want it to be negative. So m itself will be positive. With this minus, it will be a negative number. Okay, now in that case, what happens? Cos theta plus I sine theta to the power of n is equal to cos theta plus I sine theta to the power of minus n, which is equal to what? Negative power means it goes into the denominator. So cos theta plus I sin theta to the power of m. Yes. Now if we look only at the on the denominator, cos m theta plus I sin m theta, by applying the first case, and now we will rationalize this. So this we multiplied by cos m theta minus I sin m theta by cos m theta minus I sin m theta. So what happens? Numerator remains cos m theta minus I sin m theta, and in the denominator it becomes cos square m theta plus I square a minus b square. So minus a plus b times a minus b is a square minus b square. So minus I square sin square m theta. So which means cos m theta minus I sin m theta divided by, if I cancel this, this becomes plus. Since this becomes plus, cos square m theta plus sin square m theta is going to be 1. So which means I don't even have to mention it. Right? So let's remove this. Remember, cos, if I say minus m theta, its value doesn't change. Yes? Whereas if I say sin minus m theta, its sign changes. So this becomes plus I. Got it? So which means minus m is what? Minus m is n. So cos n theta plus I sin n theta. So again we get back the original statement of De Moivre's theorem. Finally we can say cos theta plus I sin theta to the power of n is equal to cos minus m is n. So n theta plus I sin n theta. So we have proved this. Now let's take the nth root on both sides. What do we get? This to the power of n will cancel out. Cos theta plus I sin theta to the power of n to the power of 1 by n, nth root. So these two will cancel out, and this will become cos n theta plus I sin n theta to the power of 1 by n. Nothing great, because if we apply the theorem on the right hand side, what will happen? 1 by n will come here, n by n it will become n cancels, n cancels, so we end up with cos theta plus I sin theta. Yes. So that is one. The second case. Now let's look at case 3. Now what is the case 3? Let n be a fraction, okay, positive or negative. So which means let n be equal to p by q. Okay, just to reduce the complication, what we'll do is we'll say p belongs to integers, positive or negative, whereas q belongs to positive integers. Otherwise what will happen is p may be negative, q will be negative, so anyhow we end up with positive. So to avoid that we restrict it, but still cover the possibilities. So now if we keep this, what do we get? Remember, cos theta plus I sin theta to the power of n is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta to the power of p by q. Just keep applying the first case. So what do we get if we apply the first case? Cos theta plus I sin theta P to the power of 1 by Q, which would be equal to, we know, this will become cos P theta plus I sin P theta to the power of 1 by Q. So 1 by Q will become cos P by Q theta plus I sin P by theta, P by Q theta. Remember, this can be written as Q to the power of minus 1. If instead of looking at plus, that is cos theta plus I sin theta, we look at minus I sin theta to the power of n. That would be equal to cos n theta minus I sin n theta. And we can prove this just the way we have proved in case of plus. Okay. Now, let's very quickly uh, solve one or two problems based on this. Let's say problem 1. If n belongs to z plus integer, positive integer, then 1 plus sine theta plus cos theta I by 1 plus sine theta minus I cos theta to the power of n is equal to cos n pi by 2 minus n theta plus I sin n pi by 2 minus n theta. We have to show that. Okay, let's begin. Let's take, see, this is the real part. This is the real part. This is the imaginary part. Okay, so let's take 1 plus sine theta. Now, let's convert sine theta to cos theta. So, what do we get? 1 plus cos pi by 2 minus theta. They are both same. And why did I do that? Because on the right hand side I have cos in the real part, right? So that is why I'm doing this. Now this can be written as 2 cos square pi by 2 minus theta by 2, which means 2 cos square pi by 4 minus theta by 2. Yes. Okay. Now the imaginary part, that is cos theta, and that we have to write it in terms of sine. So we have to make sure that the imaginary part becomes sine. So cos theta can be written as sine pi by 2 minus theta, which can be written as 2 sine pi by 2 minus theta by 2 cos pi by 2 minus theta by, so which means this gets simplified to 2 sine pi by 4 minus theta by 2 cos pi by 4 minus theta by 2. What do we do now? We have 1 plus sine theta plus or minus I cos theta. Why I'm saying plus or minus is because in both the numerator and the denominator I have the same terms except this plus and minus. So I'm taking care of both the cases together. Can be written as, now I just do the substitution, 2 cos square pi by 4 minus theta by 2, okay, plus or minus, then the I cos theta. I cos theta is 2 sine pi by 4 minus theta by 2 cos pi by 4 minus theta by 2. Okay, so now what do I do? Let's look at this. Can we simplify this? Here we have cos pi by 4 minus theta by 2. Here also we have. So let's take common out. Both of them also have 2. So 2 cos pi by 4 minus theta by 2, cos pi by 4 minus theta by 2, plus or minus I sin pi by 4 minus theta by 2. Okay, let's bring in the original statement. 1 plus sin theta plus I cos theta divided by 1 plus sin theta minus I cos theta. Okay, we have already evaluated this, but remember here we have to the power of n, right? So on this side also we have to remember to put to the power of n. So 2 cos pi by 4 minus theta by 2 times cos pi by 4 minus theta by 2 plus I sin pi by 4 minus theta by 2, okay, divided by 2 cos pi by 4 minus theta by 2 times cos pi by 4 minus theta by 2 minus I sin pi by 4 minus theta by 2. And this whole thing is to the power of n. So let's say this whole thing is to the power of n. This is whole to the power of n. Since this is to the power of n, this is also to the power of n. So these two get cancelled. Okay. So here also to the power of n. So what do I end up with? I end up with cos pi by 4 minus theta by 2 plus I sin pi by 4 minus theta by 2 to the power of n divided by cos pi by 4 minus theta by 2 minus I sin pi by 4 minus theta by 2 to the power of n. And again we apply the principal theorem. What do I get? I get cos n times pi by 4 minus theta by 2 plus I sin n pi by 4 minus theta by 2 divided by cos n pi by 4 minus theta by 2 minus I sin n pi by 4 minus theta by 2. Now what I need to do is, to make it much more simpler, we need to rationalize it. Rationalize. What we do is we take the conjugate of the denominator and multiply both denominator and numerator with it. So what happens? Its conjugate is plus. So its conjugate will be equal to the numerator itself. So instead of me writing the whole thing again and again, let me just make it as a square. Whereas here what will happen is it will become a minus b times a plus b. So each of these individuals will become squares. So this will become cos square n pi by 4 minus theta by 2 minus I square sin square n pi by 4 minus theta by 2. Okay. Now if I cancel this I square, this will become plus. And the angles are same. So cos square plus sin square will become 1. So we don't have to bother with this. Now I'm left with, in that numerator, a power of 2. Again I apply the theorem. So what happens? It becomes 2n pi by 4 minus theta by 2 plus I sin 2n pi by 2 minus theta by 2. No, this is 4. Okay. And now take the 2n in. So we end up with n pi by 2 minus n theta plus I sin n pi by 2 minus n theta, which is exactly what we had to show cos n pi by 2 minus n theta plus I sin n pi by 2 minus n. That is the De Moivre's theorem. That's it. Bye.